All right, sunny morning. A little chilly this morning. Car was covered in frost, but a beautiful day. Hopefully, the weather, the temp warms up a little bit. I hope everybody is doing good. What a great, uh, in my cat, what a great night with the ladies. Good morning, Mrs. ATS News. How are you doing this morning? Great with the Chris Watts. We were talking about Chris Watts. If you were here last night, Miss ATS News, we were talking about that case. Mrs. Cold Truth stopped in. We were talking about other things, but pretty much, I pretty much solved that case, Miss ATS News. We pretty much came to the conclusion that Chris Watch was an idiot. I never get tired discussing that case. No, I don't either, Mrs. ATS News. I don't either. Any of these cases. Well, I do. I mean, good morning, little Debbie. Oh, how rude of me. Do you ladies need some coffee? Let's start this live off right. Let me get some coffee. Oh, we are going against Marv, Greeno, uh, Art of Deduction, which there you go, ladies. Get your day going. Yeah, we were talking about a lot. Greeno, Art of Deduction, Marv. Pretty much, Anthony Greeno's panel consisted pretty much of the people that he used to hang out with years ago, minus Harmon. Uh, the only new addition is Art of Deduction, uh, the Dutchman, which I can't support these guys. They are very violent against women. They go crazy, attack women or whatever. I can't support that. You guys need to clean up a little bit or something, or quit being so violent towards the women. It's buffering on my end. Is it for you? No, I think I'm good. Is everything good? Okay, good enough. All right. There's some coffee for you ladies. It's good here, ATS. Yes, it was a great night last night. Cold Truth came in. There was a couple people coming in. I noticed our trolls were way down because I put it on subs only. And of course, we were talking about Debbie knows a lot about the Chris Watts case. She kind of surprised me last night. Wait a minute. What are you doing up so early today, young lady? Debbie. And we went to bed late last night. What time did we stream till last night? 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, I think it was. Mrs. Cold Truth, if you're listening, I hope you're doing well and got some good sleep. But the whole Chris Watts thing, is it possible that the only thing was body fluids, no blood, which body fluids are more easier to clean up than blood. And it makes sense why that cop put his hands on the carpet to see if it was damp. But within the time that the murders occurred, that carpet could have dried, but it's very possible. Because if you read the autopsy, they didn't die of a bludgeon death. So there wasn't a bunch of blood. They were strangled. So, if anything, there would have been only body fluids to clean up, right? A lot easier than blood. That would have stood out like a sore thumb, especially if you illuminated it, hit it with a blue light. But I do want to say, what a great Mrs. ATS news. We were just hanging out. We were playing Top Gun, video games, and talking about the crime cases. Pretty good. Talking about the Greeno show. Yeah, many empty bladders. Yes. Yes, you are right about that, Miss ATS News. I think I've done that a couple times. Another point I wanted to, with the Chris Watt of the police search in the house, when he goes down into the basement and he looks out the window in the window, the basement door. It's a basement door. You walk out into the yard, right? And he said no, no. And he was describing, well, it's about this tall. Well, what he was describing was the basement window, and it had deep window wells. And if you noticed, if anybody was paying attention, there was ladders built in to the window wells. So you can climb out of the window. You can open the window, get up into the window well, and then the ladder, and climb up the ladder to get out of the window well. So it's possible that he put the bodies in the window well and then carried them out of the window well. We would have to see if there was any cameras on either side of that would have picked that up. But I don't think there was. Yep, garden style windows. Big ones, yes. They were pretty big for basement. That house was huge. That house was huge. I don't get why they had them there. Well, it's common for them big giant windows like that. And if I believe they slid open, but I don't know what. Maybe the big, right? Because the basement was huge house, and eerily clean always. Oh yes, almost like a meth head. Apologies, ladies, but almost like a meth head. Yeah, that's some of these people I've known. I've seen a lot of women that do meth, and they're clean fanatics. They're eat off the toilet. I don't know what it is. It's yeah, very clean house. Uh, like I said, almost like they were on something. What is that vibe? That's what I want to know. Wow, interesting. You mentioned that. Wow, theorized he was using drugs with Nikki. Very well possible. That place was spotless. Even the police said they got 2 kids, and this place is real organized. really clean. It was. It was very clean, except for the office. It's almost like somebody was tearing the office up looking for something. But the police were taking also photos. Maybe there was a little bit of desk or something, or don't really know. All I know is that place was clean. And there are people out there that do meth and they go into cleaning mode. And the next thing you know, the whole place is just spotless. They're cleaning stuff with toothbrushes and stuff. Oh, he's tasting good this morning. Yeah, when I noticed that when I was watching it the first time, but then I went back and looked again. I'm like, dang, them window wells in the basement have ladders already built into them. Very interesting. But at that time, first responders showed up there, the police. They really weren't looking for a murder scene. They were just looking around pretty much, right? Good morning, Airy Fires. They were just looking around for some kind of evidence of maybe what had happened. They weren't really sure it was a murder scene at that point. So you really can't blame the police. They did do their job. They went in. They didn't see no point of entry or a violent crime scene or anything. So at that point, I think they were thinking that she could have left, took off or whatever. Shanann was a clean freak and an ultra organizer. Yeah, it sure did look like it, Debbie. It sure did look like it. I'll tell you what, he had it made. Miss ATS News, if you're still here listening, do you know that Chris Watts, if it was true what he said, that the two girls were killed by Shanann, in a fit of rage. You remember that statement that he made? She killed the two girls, so I killed her. Do you know that Mr. Watts, if it was true what he said, he didn't have to kill her. All he had to do was call the police and all his dreams would have came true. He would have got rid of Shanann because she would have been accused of, or she would have been gone to prison for murder. He wouldn't have had to pay child support no more. He wouldn't have had to pay alimony. And he would have got his naughty girlfriend. And it all would have been legally. So that's why I was telling people Chris Watts was full of crap. Because I'm just saying, I'm just stating this. If he would have used his head and it went down the way that he said, and Shanann killed the two girls, all he had to do was pick up the phone and call the police. My wife went crazy and killed the two kids. Come get her. And he would have been scot-free. He would have been able to have his total dreams. She would have went to prison. He would have had the house, the kids, and his sexy, hot woman. So we know it didn't go down the way he did. And I could have bought. I would even have bought. Okay, she flipped out. She found out he was cheating on her. He flipped out, or she flipped out, and he was defending himself and killed her. I would even have bought that. But as soon as he packed up them bodies and moved them out of the house, he was hiding something. Because if it would have went down the way Chris said, he was in the perfect clear. But he hid the bodies, thus pointing towards he did something wrong. He didn't call the police or nothing. Let me get back to my chat. The issue I have is Agent Tammy fed him that theory. Oh, the lady that was questioning him. So there is the rage. Let's see, Debbie. She wanted divorce. If she told him he would never see the kids, maybe, Debbie. I don't think Chris was worried about them kids. Chris had a taste of the naughty side, right? But Debbie might be right. She might have wanted the divorce. Who? The question is which one? His girl. Well, it's very possible. Which would make sense that she's not in prison because she probably spilled the beans on him. But he didn't have thoughts that it did. All he would have had to do was pick up the phone and call the authorities, and all his dreams would have came true. Yeah, she might have had a hand in it, or if not had a hand, she knew what happened, right? Whether he contacted her or whatever, or whether she was there or not. Chris had to do, if it was true what Chris said, was pick up the phone and call the police, and he would have been in heaven. She would have been in prison, and he would have had the house, the kids. He would have been able to file for divorce without having to give her nothing. He would have been scot-free. But as soon as he and dispensed them, no. Do you know how long Art of Deduction and Anthony Greeno have known each other? Trying to stabilize some kind of a. I know you've been watching Art of Deduction for a while. I just started watching them, maybe, I don't know, 2 months. Not even. Just started watching. The truth is usually simple and needs no help. Lies that complicate and that, yeah. Well, I knew something was up because when we were watching the interrogation and they left Chris and his dad's asking what happened, and then he's like, turns and says, get me a lawyer. Right? He killed him. He killed all of them. And he explains to his dad, well, she killed the 2 girls and I went into a fit of rage and killed her. Right? Well, there you go. And even his dad put his head down and was like, oh, God. Right? The whole thing. You could just see. You could see it in Chris that he was pure guilt. He was swaying back and forth. He wouldn't stop swaying back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth. Back and forth. Even the neighbor said that dude is not acting right. Something wrong. Art of Deduction is a dish. I just started watching. I'm watching all these crime channels and everything, trying to figure it out. I don't know. I guess he's buddied up with Greeno, and I was like, dude, you don't want to team up with Greeno. He's actually wanted again. Don't these people know what abating and abetting is? I don't think they do. Don't they know they can get charged for help? I don't think they can. I don't know. But very refill my coffee. He did it with her. I believe she was when Shanann got home. Wow, that would have been something. I think Debbie, you're right. She might have been there. And as soon as, what I think is the girls were already gone. The girls were already gone and possibly loaded up, ready to go already. And then she came home, and within minutes, probably, she was gone. And Greeno's attorney is former Judge Fouts. Yeah, the one that's under investigation himself. Yeah, this is, a lot of people are asking what's going on in Indiana. And I don't know, rumor has it that they're getting other militias together to take on Indiana police and the militia in Indiana, because I guess the militia told the police if they need help, they'll help. And somebody got wind of that. And pretty much, I guess they're going to surround Indiana with other militias and police force, and they're going to take on Indiana. There he is. Boy, crazy man. What are you doing over there? Art of Deduction over at Greeno's. Everybody was like, oh my God, Art of Deduction is over at the Greeno's. How long you known him, Art of Deduction? Told you not to get caught up with that, dude, but they never listen. I'll be back. Let me get my coffee. Now, I'm going to let you ladies and gentlemen know something right now. America is being prepared for war. We have Apaches flying in the air. We have jets landing out here up north. So, yes, we're going to make sure you people don't escape us. I know last night Shogun Cinema was talking about it. What is going on, Johnny? Shogun, don't you worry about it. We are only looking for these bad terrorist organizations and stuff in our country and other countries. All right, let me see what Art's saying. He is, but we share the same feelings that Alan is guilty. Yeah, today he feels that Alan's guilty. It's obvious you don't know Greeno and watch this channel, Art of Deduction, because he's this is an ongoing thing, and there's been 50 people that he's thought have done it. Do you only like people who agree with you, Art of Deduction, True Crime? I noticed my wrench was to Frankie. Walk on thin ice, buddy. My mod is Mrs. ATS News, your ex mod. But I know what your mod. You were thinking. This is what you were thinking. It's a conflict of interest. Once he found out that you were my mod, conflict of interest. But you don't have to help me, Dutchman. Man, I got a country and a world to run. And yes, it is true. We got Apaches flying around. We are running. We are doing maneuvers in America. And folks, it's only for your own safety. Greeno was the bridge with MA that day. Yes, Eric. Yes, he was. I think these people are going to be shot. There's Psychobabble, our troll. There he is. Cool. A channel war. Nah, there ain't no channel war. I'm talking about we actually are doing maneuvers within the United States. Don't worry about it, folks. You're all perfectly safe. We are the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. So don't worry, you're all safe. Let me see what Art of Deduction said. No ATS news. I just do not need people who are wrenches on channels. I personally despise that. Ain't Johnny his channel? You despise this channel? Oh my God. How dare you, Dutchman? Yeah, well, you could have, if you played your cards right, kid, you could have been a mod here. I was pushing to be a mod at your place because all you do is mod people that piss you off. So I was going to be like, I'm going to piss them off. Thus far, I will get a wrench. But I don't need a wrench. Let me see what Aries Fry said. Greeno is a douche as well. Be nice to Greeno. And Art of Deduction. Greeno is a very shitty person, Debbie said, who cares what he thinks he needs to pay his child support. Oh my God. Look past the child support, Debbie. Greeno's actions and the way his life is. I can give two craps about the child support. That child support does not make what Greeno's demeanor, mind, and attitude is. I look at other things. Let me see what Aries Fry says. Greeno also coined the phrase bridge guy. Ellie has never called him that. I don't know. Let me see what Art of Deduction is saying. Hold on, I got a weather alarm radio test going on. That is completely true, ATS News. How can I make somebody a wrench that ignores simple facts? Here we go with Kurt Cobain. Now, I'm going to let you know, Art of Deduction. You guys are limited. I got a call last night on what you could talk about with Kurt. Okay? Yes, I knew. The family and everybody contacted me. So there's only so much you can talk about with Kurt, Art. But I did put a good word in for Miss ATS News and Debbie. They can talk about Kurt as much as they want. Hold on, I got to shut this forever radio. Now, do you remember art of deduction, Frank? Oh, Frank, I want to know how long you've known Greeno, and how deep does your connection go? And let me ask you this much: how deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? That's an old Bee Gees song. All right, let's get back to business. Now, you notice how Greeno said that he was speaking for the family and all this and that bull crap. Boy, I'll tell you, these guys will talk you right out of your panties. Johnny, did you wish the Motor City Madman a happy birthday? Yes, I did. He's got a place. He's down in Texas right now doing the hunt for hogs. Got a big problem with the hogs out there, Russian hogs. Can someone Scott to America? I finally caught your live on time. Working 12 hours for a couple weeks. Sir, for working 12 hours a day. God bless him. God bless him. That's what we do here in America, art of deduction. We work. I know Greeno probably got the softest hands in the world, but bless this person. Let me see what ATS knows. It doesn't bother me to be called a conspiracy theory. These people are going to really, it's conspiracies. I'm going to lie to you. If you want to be lied to, turn on the White House News or Congress and Senate, whatever. I'm not going to lie to you here, folks. Conspiracies are real. They are definitely real. Debbie says Greeno needs to be in jail and quit playing. Does it as good as Ernie. Yeah, he's walking down the other day, walking down the side of the road. I have no idea where I am, but I'm over a bridge overpass right now. I'm thinking about throwing myself over the bridge and go ahead, jump. I told you guys. Ernie Show even came out and said we're dealing with another Ernie Show. Jump. I've been telling, just jump, Greeno, get it over with. I mean, how many times do we have to play wolf with? How many times? They should be getting help in the hospital and taking their medication. They're very, very violent towards women. They don't care if it's a precious little Hollywood improving dirty cops in Seattle. Say Kurt. Yeah, himself. Why would I trust Hollywood? A dirty cop. Evidence. That's all you can go off on this is ATS News. Evidence. You know he is running down the highway asking for money. Come on now. You're right, Debbie. I've been doing this all wrong. See, I always grew up where you're the man and women don't buy things for men. Men buy things for women. Hold on a minute. I'm reacting to the bridge guy. As he came, stalking, lurking the women with a cigar in his mouth. Scene, cut. All right, now back to what I was saying. I grew up where you paid for things for the woman, whether it be food. I know this much. Whatever it is. Which, did you notice Shanann's closet? Good God. She had a shoe fetish. The walls were covered with shoes. And I told you guys, women love shoes. If you're going to buy something for a woman, shoes. They love shoes. Let's get back to my channel. Seems like Delphi Case has lots of them, lots of men who cover it, who don't respect women. Well, you know what? I'm a human. Women do upset me, but I don't go. Sorry, you know, easy on men anymore, like I did on a couple of these people, but I didn't go crazy on any women unless Mrs. ATS News. Can I state this for YouTube records, chat records, government records? I don't know who is behind these accounts. I think I'm talking to a woman politely, but it's a man. Sometimes I'm talking to a man, but it's really a woman. So if a woman came in here underneath an account with a man's face, there's a good chance that I thought that one of them trolls was a man and blew up on him, but really isn't a man's name or a face. And we've seen that before on YouTube. And if that's the case, my apologies. My apologies, because I was thinking I was talking to a man. Does that seem, or is that knowledgeable, Mrs. ATS News? As Bridge Guy came out of the tree line and walked down the track back to his vehicle, as you can see that guy walking down and there he goes, gone. Just like that. And that's what we're looking at. Now, can I get back to what I was stating? Mrs. ATS News, does that seem sensible? That if I did go off on a woman, it was because I didn't know it was a woman, it was a man. And that's why I always ask when people come in here, are you a man or a woman? Because I don't want to attack a woman. Do you think I want somebody out there saying that I'm no good and I abuse women? I'll never find a beautiful wife. I'll be alone the rest of my life because women stick together, right? I've never hit a woman in my life. I've never for money. I haven't even for sex. What's wrong? I need help. I'm in the wrong time, Lord. These people. This is how these guys make their living, by using these women. I was raised wrong, I guess. I don't know. Mrs. Cold Truth, if you're watching, we hope you got a beautiful night of sleep. Probably so scared of Anthony Greeno and all his that she can't even sleep at night. Unreal. Seems like Delphi Case has a lot of the men who cover it. Oh, I read that already. Mrs. AT, not you. Is it me? Mrs. ATS News. If it is me, my apologies. Forgive me, please. I was definitely not. Debbie, if I upset you at all, please forgive me. Sometimes I don't even think it's me. I'm telling you, there is something to this possibly sorcery or witchery or whatever, possibly. Did Courtney off Kurt? That is possible. But Mrs. ATS News said something to me yesterday in my chat. The ligature, which is what heroin addicts use sometimes to tie around their arm. See, the heroin will only go so far up the arm. If that tourniquet is around the arm tight enough, it's cutting off all the blood to the mainstream, so the heroin don't have a chance to kick in. Now, I have seen some heroin people that have done that. where they've shot up and they left the tourniquet on their arm. And little by little, they unloosen the tourniquet. And that's to let the heroin get up into the body. So Mrs. ATS News brought that up the other day. And that is true. He could have shot himself up a couple times, but not with a real high dose. And then started writing the letter. And then he had his tourniquet on. And he could have gave the final big dose into his arm. But he still had the tourniquet on. Thus, that's why the handwriting changes and everything like that. It's very possible. And then after he was done doing the writing, he took a sip of his pop. He stuck the pencil into the note. He sat down, loaded the weapon, put the weapon to where he wanted, took the tourniquet off of his arm, put it back in his little thing, and that's when the heroin probably was starting to hit him. And then he could have pulled the trigger, but this is a case that could go both ways. Being that there was so much money involved with Kurt, and that there was talk of him wanting to do Michael Stipe stuff and leaving Nirvana, pissed off a lot of people, record companies, bandmates, because their lives revolved around them. So it's a very interesting case, and it could have went both ways. He could have did it himself. Very possible he did it himself, but it's also possible that someone else did it. It's very possible. There could have been someone there with him that was shooting up. You know? Yeah, I know psychobabble about Duff. Duff is the last person to see him alive at the airport. But I do believe at that time, Duff was with other dudes. And they were going to go back to... and here's the crazy thing. Kurt Cobain and Guns N' Roses did not get along. They didn't get along. So this whole story that Duff was putting on, and I love Duff, right? He straightened his life out. He quit the junk. But the story didn't made up because I'm like, well, they couldn't stand each other. You remember that whole thing at the thing with Axl and the whole band? They were going to beat the crap out of Kurt or whatever. I mean, that whole story I was like, what? You guys couldn't stand each other. Now Duff's saying he wanted to bring them back to Duff's place so they can sit around and do some stuff. And I don't know, very crazy stuff. Psychobabble, where was NK in April of 1994? Very interesting stuff. Is Art of Deduction out there? You still here, kid? You mean you got rid of Mrs. ATS News, an award-winning YouTube creator, because she disagreed with your Kurt Cobain story? Art of Deduction, are you telling me that? Did I hear that correctly? Kurt was going to get clean and take custody of Frances Bean and divorce Courtney. There was talk of it. Here we go with divorce. Now she gets 50%. Right? Possibly. You know, and then you have to look at the other guy. That knew Kurt. They all knew each other, folks. They all done heroin together, right? They were buddies in Seattle. Even Lane Staley and all the rest of them dudes, right? And what got me is the note that Kurt left behind. Bada. That was his childhood imaginary friend, right? Very interesting. You could tell the difference between the handwriting there. Now, what I was trying to determine, did someone else write the letter and Kurt finished it? Or did Kurt have good handwriting, but when the heroin kicked in, it was chicken scratch? Understand what it was saying? Right? Which Duff does the flag, probably. Yeah, that was a very suspicious thing, Cycle. Bring up a great point. His mother wrote in her book that Kurt was murdered. Yeah, this is great. And now we're looking at, you know, Miss ATS News. This is why I wanted you to do the Lane Staley documentary. Because you know who was the last person to see Lane? Mike Starr. Right? He was going to call the police, but Lane said, if you call the police, I'll never bother you. You know, I'll never be your friend again or whatever. And don't leave like this or whatever. I'm thinking that whole story might have been crap. They might have been there doing junk, and Lane OD'd, and he did the boot scoop boogie out of there, took heroin and money or whatever. Didn't they say that people were using Kurt's credit card? Didn't someone say that somebody tried to use Lane's stuff, or they stole Lane's Trans Am LS6, uh, one of the rare Trans Am Air Ram black Trans Am? Lane had the opposite of Courtney. Yeah, Lane had a very, very messed up woman, Demery, and her herself was a complete junkie. But they're saying that Lane didn't do heroin until he uh, but I don't think so. Yeah, his card was in use when he was dead, but I guess that just conspiracy. No fact. That was a shot towards art of deduction. You know what, art of deduction? I've been on this earth a long time. Well, I'm 50 something years old, but my friend, and so are conspiracies to set people up, kill people. Uh, Other people call it a coup d'etat. Other people call it conspiracies. But, well, if we're even friends still, these things are real, my friend, and you really should consider them. And his card, are you talking about Kurt or Lane's? I know Lane. I know somebody Lane's car was stolen and other things were stolen. So, yeah, yeah, very well possible that it was something that it shouldn't have been. But that was interesting because Duff was the last person to see Cobain, and Mark Starr was the last person to see Lane Staley. And usually they go with, when there's an investigation, the last people that's seen them alive, if not family first. And that is the truth. And then And unless they got a tip of the murder or what happened, they usually go with the family first or friends or the last person that person came in contact or seen him alive. Duff worked at the Black Angus here, all before he became famous. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, it was a great live last night hanging out with all the ladies, the great Debbie Fox, the great Cold Truth, and Aries Fire was in here last night too. Excuse me. Folks, you have to take in consideration with these deaths. These gentlemen were worth millions and millions. I think they said Kurt was worth 52 million or something like that, or $42 million or something like that. Lane Staley was worth just about as much as that. Lane played it smart. Lane bought himself a beautiful presidential condo in Seattle. He didn't need the $1 billion home, right? You got to pay money to have these things cleaned. You buy a home like that, you spend your whole day cleaning house, right? God forbid you got the light on all day, because here comes a $800 electric bill, $1,000 electric bill. You got to clean all that stuff. You got to, I've talked to, I've seen people do documentaries of, do you know there was a rock star that bought a giant house and he never even was on that side of the house. He's never been on the other side of the house. They live within their front room or bedroom or kitchen. The rest of the house, the cobwebs and dust. And like, hey, you know, you got a giant room over there with all kind of weight room. I've never been on that side of the house. I have no idea what's on that side of the house. But Duff hit it right on the nose. If you're a single dude, you spend your time in your front room, right? You live in your front room. You got all your guitar equipment all over, which that's what I got here. You got all kinds of stuff scattered all over. If you're a single man, where do you live? You live in your front room on the couch. If you can make it to your bedroom at night, you sleep in your bed. But as single dudes, we live in our front rooms. I want to thank Jesus Christ and God for, I was never an intravenous injector. I want to thank God for that, because believe me, I know what the needle, what the damage of the needle can do. Psychobabble says no after appetite. He quit GNR and worked at the Black. Oh, really? I had no idea. Excuse me. Lane was half dead when they recorded the MTV acoustic. Lane was still in good condition. And I'm going to let these people on a little secret. Towards the end, they are right. They had to bring people in to do stuff to fix his vocals and stuff like that. A lot of people didn't know that, right? The last thing he did, the Pink Floyd, The Wall, that was the last thing he did. And they had to bring in a de-esser. They had to use a de-esser because he was slurring his words. Lane did it. Lane did it in a dark room with a divider put up so nobody can see him. He did it. That was his life. That was it. That was the last recording of Lane Staley the Great. And if Lane was alive today, right now, he probably would have been one of the biggest singers ever. Staley could sing. So much so, the resonance from his. Lane was a very powerful singer. Very powerful. He blew. He blew Kurt Cobain out of the water. Well, let's just get that straight, folks. Kurt Cobain would never be Lane Staley. Lane Staley trained his voice. Lane knew he was a powerhouse vocally. MTV didn't care. They just used these guys for views. Well, you're right about that. You're right about that. Lane did look bad. He looked thin, but he wasn't close to. Right? It looked pretty bad, but he did it. And I'll tell you what, Alice in Chains, MTV will go down is probably one of the best MTVs ever. Lane was better singer. I agree. Oh, Lane was an ass kicker. First started in music when he had the big hair and the tights and makeup on and all that. I'm talking he became something when they put out this first Alice in Chains record. Because we heard Lane before the records. But once he put out what was their first one? Fly of Jars, or was there one more before that? And that's when the world recognized, holy crap, this dude is good. And he was good. There'll probably never be another Lane Staley. There's guys that are really close that sound like him. Like the guy that right now is in Alice in Chains does one heck of a job at singing Lane Staley songs. He does one heck of a job. Let me tell you who else did a heck of a job. Phil Nomos, or Elmos from Pantera did a cover with Jerry Cantrell, and I was shocked. Right? I was shocked. Phil did an excellent job covering that song. Lurt had a great voice. Yeah, there's a couple guys out there, man, that can get real close to sounding like Lane. But they ain't Lane. And there won't be another Lane. Killer Cam. Debbie Fox owes me an apology. She called me a tard. That's okay. I'm a tard too. I have a disability. But I don't let it bring me down. Don't worry about it. These are women in my chat. Killer Cam. With brains. And that's the most dangerous kind of woman. And it looks like you just got taken out again by Mrs. Debbie Fox. Now quit, Killer Cam. If you come back in here, be good. Killer Cam was timed out by ATS News. Oh, ATS News got him? Oh, yeah, ATS News got him. I thought Debbie got him. Let him talk, Toby. Let him. What did he say? Has he been in here for a while? I'm not paying attention to. Hey, Toby, how you doing? There's Toby. He was here last night. I think he came in late last night. Toby, how you doing? Come on in. Walk on eggshells around her. The mods got blood in her. Miss ATS News, I thought for sure you'd take out art of deduction as soon as he came in here. But that's okay, Art. We got no beef against you here, Art of Deduction, the crazy Dutchman. We're still friends. But I'm telling you, kid, be be careful. We'd hate to see you get sucked up into this whole Greeno thing. He is a Greeno. It probably is one of these guys from the other channels. Toby, your mods are doing a great job. Yeah, they do pretty good, don't they? They surely do. I actually accidentally deleted it. My dad, he'll be back. Or you're bad. I'm sorry, your dad. I was like, TS, these women, these brutal. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was my father. I just timed him out. God, woman. Nah, tiptoe around here, gentlemen. Tiptoe very easily. Eggshells. They always come back. Yeah, they'll be back. Just next time, we'll use them for views and subs or whatever. I should have put it on subs only. I probably would have got a couple subs out of it for a couple minutes. Nah, great women. Right? These are strong women, smart women, independent women. Most deadliest woman around. One with brains. So it ain't looking too good for us, man. Let me see what she said. No beef. I'm friends with people. Yeah, I got no beef with these people. Not everyone's like, you gonna go? You gonna go? No, going and hunting nobody down. Right? Like I said, you're gonna have to pay me a lot of money to get me off this lazy boy. I'm retired. Debbie says, no, if they are bashing anyone, they're gone. Well, I better clean up my act. Bashing a couple of these people. Toby, please do something with your mustache. It's tragedy. Please. It's horrible. We got to fix it. People need to get thicker skins and not be so fragile. I agree. I think this, ladies and gentlemen, I think what you are seeing is a takeover of the United States and the whole world by actually women. They no longer are sitting in the dark running the show. They have come forward now out of the dark. And I do believe they're running this country. It's very well possible. We all know they run the bedrooms. They run the household. That's where I think they're running this country. Let's smoke some weed. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. It's illegal in this chat. Go ahead. Devil's dandruff, you got to go. The baby heroine's breath, you got to leave. The pills, the popping, all that, you got to go. But if you're going to smoke some weed, go right ahead. You're free to do that here. That too. Harry fries. Yes, go ahead. Don't worry about it. You're in the clear here. Now there's talk of, you know what they're doing? Indiana, it was all over the news yesterday. We're thinking about legalizing cannabis. And why is that? To throw us off of the giant madness in Delphi? We need something, and we need something real fast, or they're going to kill us all. Let's legalize cannabis. This will, and it probably will take the. Everybody's going to be like, "What are you talking about, Delphi? That was 7 years ago. Who cares? Spark one up. Let's screw this crap." Plus, the crime will go way down because usually stoners, well, they're not out killing people because they're stoned. They're at home eating food, laying on the couch, and watching TV. So I think this will be a good call for Indiana. And it probably don't help that every single state around Indiana has surrounded us. They've legalized it. Let me see what Psychobabel's saying. Lane was a heroin addict, yet. You worship him, Johnny. No, I don't. I worship his voice and his talent, Psychobabel. No, it's questions and things like this that upset me, Psychobabel. I do not worship the addiction. I worship the man, and I don't worship him. I only worship God. But I give credit where credit is due, Psychobabel. Lane Staley was a great singer, and that's it. That's it. I do not worship him. I don't pray to Lane Staley. I will give him credit where credit is due. He was one of the greatest rock singers ever. Other than that, I don't give credit to the heroin, to the junkie, to any of that. I give credit to the man that he was before the heroin. I give him credit for the man that he was while he was on the heroin. I give him credit for the man that he was with his talent. I'm sorry you ladies had to hear that. Now let's get back to normal. You just remind me, what happened to the rewind money offered for Delphi? The $260,000. Yes? Don't worry. They will be bringing me that money real soon, Mrs. ATS News. Toby's stash represents the law enforcement on the case. Toby. Toby. Just fix the mustache, my friend. Lane was sick. Why would he hold an illness against him? No, Lane was sick. I worshipped. I didn't worship Lane. I backed Lane. Right? He was one of the greatest rock singers, and on his way to be incredible. And that's just facts, folks. Listen to some of his tracks where they take all the music out and it's just Lane. And a lot of people don't realize Lane harmonized over his own stuff. And I'll tell you another thing, Jerry Cantrell has an excellent voice too. Them two voices were just unbelievable together. It was almost like the guitar players and Leonard Skinner. They just went together. That stash has to go, Toby. It is tragedy. It is ATS News. Yes, Lane was sick. And if they would have got him clean, God bless his little heart. And he did get clean. That's when he gained all that weight and his face looked different and everything. Right? If he just would have stayed away from the heroin when he got clean and just stuck with cannabis, right? Even alcohol, he probably would have been with us today, folks. No joke. Yeah, Lane's voice was powerful. It was very powerful. Sometimes I can sound like him, and sometimes I can't. My voice goes, but my voice wasn't trained like Lane's. Uh, and it only lasts so long, folks. It only lasts so long. Over time, your vocal cords get damaged, not including the alcohol, the smoking cigarettes, and if you're doing other junk. Over time, it takes its toll. And you can't hit the vibratos no more. You can't hit the hold on, bridge guy as he came down the bridge. He was stalking and lurking and disappeared into the tree line. Cut. All right, let's get back to what we were saying. Every time someone walks down there, I cut. It's my bridge guy reenactment. The sidewalk represents the train tracks. All right, what was I? Psychobabble. Yes, Johnny. If he didn't die, he would still be alive. All right, Psychobabble. You're starting to really aggravate me. But I'm going to let it slide this time. If Lane was still alive, he probably would have been documented as one of the most powerful vocalists in the world. He was just them last couple of records, you could tell he was just getting everything dialed in. And I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. You know what I used to think? That Lane was still alive. He just didn't want this crap no more. He had enough money. He never had to work another day in his life. And we have seen in other cases where these rock stars fake their death. And that's what we were all hoping. That Lane did not pass. That Kurt did not pass. They wanted out. They had enough money. They never had to work again. They could have anything they wanted. And they just faked their deaths. That's what we all were hoping. We all were hoping that. And I hope one day Lane comes knocking at the door. I didn't die. I just wanted out, Johnny. You were right. They're leeches. You're a monkey to them. You are a monkey to them. You do what they say, or they drop you from the label. You don't get no airtime. You don't get nothing. But that never happened. Lane passed away. So did Kurt. Do you think Kurt and Lane would have teamed up and did a song together or collabed together if they both still were alive? I bet you they would have. Hey, at least we still have Jerry Cantrell, who is still carrying on the Alice in Chains music and still is one heck of a guitar player and vocalist. Let me see what ATS News got to say. Speaking of aging voice, I also want to know if Young Guy's sketch is someone 18 to 40. How come BG's voice sounds like an older guy? I don't think Bridge Guy's voice sounds like an older guy. I think it sounds like a younger guy. In between 18 and 40. I don't think it's Ron Logan. People are saying voice guy is Ron Logan. I don't think so. Listen to all the way Ron Logan talks. He's got a southern slang to it. Southern Indiana slang. I don't think voice guy does. Voice guy, to me, I went with Chadwell. There was 4 of them. I went with Chadwell. I went with, it possibly could be Richard Allen, but I don't have enough clip of Richard Allen talking. I also went with, it sounds a little bit like Greeno. Now, whether Greeno voice clip that he did for his own thing got mixed up in there somewhere, maybe, possibly. The other person was Klein, you know, which I did state that in one of my videos. I had like 4 people that was picked, 4 or 5 people that was picked for Bridge Guy. Well, not Bridge Guy, the voice. I don't think, I know a lot of people are saying it's Ron Logan. I just don't think it is. But FBI said it could be him. Yeah, I don't know. This is crazy, folks. I'm telling you, you might actually see a takeover of Indiana. Really, I'm not joking. A takeover of the police and the whole justice system. People are really flipping out over this. Is Greeno in Seattle? I have no idea. Psychobabble. Somebody's helping them to do the boot scoop boogie. I know they're looking for him in Indiana. I know that. Only because of his video. They're afraid he's going to kill himself or kill somebody. Because he was saying on his video, the next person that did a video and mentioned his name, he was going to kill them. He was going to show up at their house, knock on their door, and put a bullet in their head when they opened the door. Then he threatened some of us for making videos. Then he threatened Miss Cold Truth. So I think they are looking for him, but only because he threatened to throw himself off of the bridge. The voice is Greeno. Yeah, we went with Greeno on that. That's what I went with Greeno, Chadwell. I think there was more there to it. You think, well, what's old, Toby? At that time, they said he was between 18 years old and 40. Are you talking bridge guy or the voice? Well, that depends. If you're talking the first voice on the tape, it sounds a little bit older. But the other voice uh, sounds younger. Middle-aged guy. I don't know. I just don't think Ron Logan is voice guy. I don't think Ron Logan at 70 some years old at that time could do all this by himself and then leave the bodies on his property. That was just stupid, right? I don't think so. I just don't think Ron had anything to do with it. He might have known about these guys. He might have been part of a club or whatever. But Ron Logan is not voice guy. Uh, I don't know. Like I said, I went with 4 people on the voice. But here's the thing: we don't know if these YouTube creators edited or CGI'd or someone else that was walking down that bridge. Greeno did say that he took photos or video and edited it. Uh, and what a lot of people are looking at is actually not Bridge Guy. It's Anthony Greeno's version of Bridge Guy. Tragedy. I think picture middle-aged guy. I don't think Ron Logan is voice guy either. I agree there. Aries 5, Grigsby, the Great Gatsby. The whole Delphi thing seems so staged and faked. Psychobabble is finally coming around. I think it was some of these. You want my honest opinion? I think somebody had a grudge against the system, against somebody, and they did this. And it's very well possible that somebody manipulated everybody. Why? Power of the air, power of social media. He who holds the key to the airwaves controls the world. I think they staged something to make it look like something it wasn't. I love The Great Gatsby. That was a great movie, wasn't it? With Leonardo DiCaprio. That was a movie, right? He fell in love with a woman. He went. I don't even want to talk about it. It brings memories of love with me. Great movie. He did it. What did he? A house right next to him so he could keep an eye on her. He didn't. She didn't even know. That was great. It was just unbelievable. Don't even. It's bringing tears to my eyes. It's reminding me of old love. Gadsby arrested with DG and Ashley Garth. Yeah, Erie Spry got it right. There's a whole, yeah, Ashley Garth, who was connected to the Kurtz and the other people and everything, and which they themselves killed a woman over sex and drugs that was attracted to her boyfriend. They ended up killing her and keeping her in a storage container that someone turned into a honey blind. They found her in there. Bradley, yeah. I just want the case to be closed. So do we, Majestic Avenger. Yes. Yes, it got way out of control. But I can let you folks know this much. I do believe that it's a ring. And even after Richard Allen, if he's found guilty and does time, I do believe that this case will continue to be investigated because I think it was some kind of a big giant club sick ring together. Sex, drugs, clubs, right? You had Chadwell talking about a club on social media that he belonged to a club. You had Anthony Drino saying that he belonged to a club or they ride motorcycles or whatever. They all were mixed up in the drugs. They all knew each other in that area. People are like, well, Chadwell was from Lafayette. Lafayette was 15 minutes away from Delphi. Do people not know that? 15 minutes away. Chadwell also rode a bike. They're dumb. They're dumb girls who went out to the bridge at the same time. Psychopath was out there. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I said. Why didn't he kill the first three girls that were out there? There was nobody out there except for them three girls, but he lets them go and he waits. Maybe he waited because the girls that he first seen, the three or four girls out there, didn't cross the bridge. But Abby and Libby did. And he might have seen that and took his, right? They were on the other side of the bridge. He had them trapped, is what I look at it. He had them trapped. He knew it. But here's the thing. Them girls, as soon as he started walking on the bridge, if they were that scared, why didn't they just continue to run down the track and run to them houses? Actually, there was another trail. They could have stayed on that train track, and it went around and it took them out by them houses over there. Why they didn't do that, I have no idea. We have thousands of questions. Why didn't they scream? There was other people out there. We know there was no gunfire. And the reason we know there was no gunfire because nobody said they heard a gunfire. They heard a gun go off. So the gun was never used. If anything, it was used just to scare them. But someone definitely would have heard a gun go off. And I do believe where the girls were, if they would have screamed, everyone would have heard them. It would have echoed down that whole valley. You need to listen to Rick Snay when it comes to this case. He knows what he's talking about. Rick Snay, the one that is being charged possibly with photos of leaking photos or whatever. I don't know. Oh, you mean Rick Snay, the Richard Dreyfuss lookalike. Now, Rick Snay, if you're watching, if we need you for a new Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind, we'll call you. Or if we need you for Moon Over Corridor. Right? Somebody actually get a hold of Richard Dreyfuss. We need another Moon Over Corridor, and we need a new Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Social media has become scrubbed over the last 7 years. The truth is strange, stranger than fiction. I'm starting to think Eerie Fries that this is turning into some kind of a fictional movie thing. Little Debbie Fox is laughing her little booty off. You laugh that little booty off. You go right ahead. You earned it. I knew Dreyfuss. Oh, what a great actor. He's great. Moon Over Corridor was great, but then you had Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And then what did you have? You had Jaws. Right? You remember that part? This was no shark, or this was no boat attack. Did somebody call them? Oh my God, what are you talking about, Richard? This was a great white, a porker. Oh my God, not a porker. Yes, a porker. That was another great movie. I got a question for you guys. Why wasn't Richard Dreyfuss in the other Jaws? Because he survived in the first Jaws. He survived. At the end of the movie, Richard comes up, pulls his mask off. They ask about the captain, right? The crazy captain and everything. Right? You remember that guy? I'll catch him. I'll find him for 10,000, but I'll kill him for 20. Give him the 20 grand. Let him go kill that thing. It's unbelievable. The other Jaws would have destroyed his career, though. The first one and the second one were good. After that, it wouldn't have worked out. But I don't know why they didn't have Dreyfuss in Jaws 2. Because he survived. He survived in the first one. I don't know who's writing these scripts, but I got to get in there. This is unbelievable. I know. It makes sense why Robert Shaw wasn't in Jaws 2. But why wasn't Richard Dreyfuss? Yeah, Robert Shaw. He was the police captain, right? Right. He was the captain and everything. I'll tell you what, this has been a great chat. I love you people. I really do. You're all great, incredible. I have a chat like this every day, communicating with people. You go right in. You just laugh, little lady. Laugh. Have a great day. Then you have his dopey so going after the great Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey. I agree with you 100%. There was no reason. Should have not have been. He should have been in Jaws 2. I'm sorry. He should have been. All right. Oh, what a day. What is it? Oh, my God. It's after 12 o'clock. What do you ladies do during the day? Well, I know Miss ATS News is taking care of the little one. Debbie's laughing her little butt off. Right? She is laughing her little booty up. Laugh it off, little lady. Toby says Jaws 2 probably would have. Hold on a minute, Toby. As bridge guy walked down the bridge, he noticed that there was two people that he could be stalking. As he walked gently. But as he got to the end, it was all over. Okay, there we go. No, let's get back to Toby's thing. Would have got more respect than that. Yeah, I have no idea, Toby, why they didn't. Oh, wait a minute, I got a new person. Yeah, here comes old pretty boy Mark Klein. Yeah, that's him. He changed his photo before. He had a scraggly beard and a missing tooth. And the women still went crazy over him. Here he is again now with a more cleaner face and teeth. It explains why he's getting all these women. This is unbelievable. Keep an eye on him when he comes in. He somehow ends up stealing all the beautiful women. Hello, Mr. Klein. I'm glad to see you today. Maybe I'll catch you later. Gotta work. Have a great day. Aries Fries, thank you for stopping in and being so respectful. You're a great chat person. You're always welcome here. Bye, Aries. Debbie says, have a good day. Yes, have a good day. You ladies, gentlemen, if you have to leave and do things, go do them. God bless y'all. Okay, I am announcing that I am having to go feed the squirrels. Yeah, you should be filming it, Psychobabble. You might be able to get some people. Wait, what did Kilogram say? Ah, too late, Kilogram. Debbie is on you like white on rice, like a bum on a bologna sandwich. Give him a chance to breathe, Debbie. What did he say? Psychobabble, go feed the squirrels, but film it and then put it on your channel for content. How can you be in here telling me that I have no idea what I'm doing? And then I go to your channel and you got no content. What gives you people to have no content and come in here and tell me that I don't know what I'm doing? That's very, very convincing. What ATS is? Laundry. I'll tell you what, this little lady does tons of laundry. Does the laundry ever end? I can't deal with this no more. No, Johnny. Do you have many deer that come to the house? No, I don't have a house anymore. I did. I did have a lot of deer that would come right to my fruit trees that I had in my backyard. But I was swindled out of my house. That's a whole nother story for another video, which one day I will do. But yes, I had deer in my backyard at my house, which my house was 5 minutes away from where I'm staying right now. He has said enough. All right, Debbie. The great Debbie has spoken. Kilogram, you have said enough. I am starting to think Debbie Fox was involved in Delphi. Well, you're an idiot. There is no way little Debbie Fox was involved in Delphi. I hope not. There's no way. Johnny, you lost the house because you didn't make the payments. I lost the house because it was wrote up as a uh, balloon mortgage, and it was supposed to be a fixed mortgage. So every year, my rent, or every, I don't know what it was, 6 months or whatever, my rent would go up, or every year. And I complained to them, this is supposed to be a fixed. And they said, well, you got to pay on it for so long. And then we can go back in and redo the paperwork as a fixed. And I'm like, well, it was supposed to be fixed, but this paperwork you gave me is showing that it's a balloon mortgage. My rent keeps going up, so I refuse to pay anything now. Then they took my house. Yeah. 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 I refused. He's right. I did refuse to make the payments after I could not afford it no more. He's got that right. You're a very smart person. But the truth is they swindled me because I have a disability. My brain was not up to par. At that time, I was paying child support, working all day, come home, have to cut the music, go to bed, go to work, come home about 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, day after day after day. It got to where I couldn't pay everything, and I lost everything. I hope you're happy, Psycho Bible, because I worked my whole life. Nobody gave anything to me for free. I worked with a disability, never got a dime from the government. It was very hard for me. I was very proud of myself when I got a house. But it didn't last too long because I was an idiot. Pressure, time. I finally snapped. Erie's fries. I thought you said you had something to do. Switch and switchers was used, remember? Yes. My God, Erie's fries said they were going, they had something to do. Or was that someone else? I don't know. I'm losing track of track. Psychobabble. Oh no, Johnny said. Tale of hope. No, what? No, I didn't even. I had a girlfriend at that time when I had my house. I wasn't dating. Oh my God, are you telling me she was a whore and I didn't know about it? It's very possible. But these women don't tell me things. They don't tell me these things. They keep everything secret. It's very possible she was away the other night and never even knew. I never even knew. I don't know. God, save me. Save these people. Something. Save somebody. Let me see what Debbie said. Johnny, don't explain yourself to anybody. I won't. Psychobabble? It's none of your business. Okay, now I'm officially leaving, going to feed squirrels. You should. You should. You caused enough trouble in here. I think it's time for you to go do something productive. You should film it. You should film it and put it out on your channel as content. Right? Instead of coming into people's chats saying, we don't know what we're doing, you suck, you suck, you suck. And then we go to your channel and there's nothing. Zeros. I think you got a lot of explaining to do, Psychobabble. Let's get what they're talking about. Let's see what Toby's got to say. What is your problem, Psychobabble? He's very angry. He's very angry at the world. It is a troll that I got locked up. He keeps changing his names. He's very disgruntled against the world. I don't blame him, but you're not going to be mad at me, Psychobabble. I didn't put you in the place where... Excuse me. Toby, he likes to get the shit pot stirred. Yes. He's always stirring the shit. It's a very stinky job. And that's why we got Psychobabble Bendejo Burrito on the job. Yes. Maybe you'll change your attitude, Psychobabble, and become a civilized citizen. And then we will take your comments seriously. Let me see what the great Debbie Fox said. He is okay until butt feeds off anger. He is okay until he feeds off the anger, yeah. Yeah. Do not go to the dark side, Psychobabble. I can tell you one thing, if that's you, Upchurch. Soon my blood will be filled with the greatest rapper ever. Ryan Upchurch, and together we will build and create an empire of great rap songs. That takes care of that problem. Now, must we go into it any further than that? I didn't think so. Chris Watts is an idiot. I'm going to say that right now. Let's get that out of the way. Okay? Anthony Greeno, you're acting like a complete idiot. You and your whole clan or club, gang, YouTube club, whatever it is. Idiots. Grow up. Quit being jealous. Okay? You got enough women helping you escape. You got enough women you are dating. How come you're so angry? I have no idea. Art of Deduction. I haven't been watching you too long, kid. But you're following an idiot's footsteps. So it probably won't be long before they come after you, too. When you start telling women to suck your baloney in your chat, it ain't going to last too long. It won't last too long. Right? I think the true people came out. I think finally I got these people out of me. They were trespassing on me. I got to refill my coffee. Debbie, you okay? Mrs. ATS News, you okay? You ladies okay? Toby, please do something with that mustache. I got a mustache trimmer if you need to borrow it. Yo, lay low and chill. No sausage jokes right now. No, not until after midnight. Toby, do something, please, with that mustache. It is not, this ain't a porn. It ain't 19 dash porn match. Let me see what ATS News, the great award winning documentary woman Mrs. A's got to say, why would channels only allow people who believe that the creator of the channel thinks? Let me reread that because sometimes my brain does not work and I'm dyslexic and DHD. And sometimes I have HD. So let me see here. Why would channels only allow people who believe that the creator, I'm still trying to I'm still trying to take that into my brain. Wait a minute, Miss ATS News. It takes a minute. Hold on. Why would channels only allow people who believe that the creator of the channel thinks? I'm not sure what she's trying to say, but then again, she's very stressed out doing laundry and has a little one to take care of. Very well, maybe a little bit on the sauce right now. Miss ATS, can you rephrase that for me? It's not with people who believe what the creator of the channel thinks. Oh, ha ha. Well, you're Mrs. ATS, and that's a very good question. Now the information has progressed and data in my brain, and it's taking up. Now I understand because out here, Mrs. ATS News, we call it Charlie Manson family. Yes, that's what we call it. Yes, because the creator now has become like a Manson, much like Reno. Now, much like a lot of these people that we're seeing, that if you don't agree with what they say or what they, and I do agree with you 100%, Miss ATS News award-winning documentarist, ATS News. I do agree with you 100%. 100%. Wait, pretty boy, Klein is back. Psycho seems nuts. I'm sure the squirrels will love him. Crazier than squirrel shit. I guarantee you that. Mark Klein. I'm glad you finally shaved, Mark, and put your tooth in. Right? You're looking good. Teeth and hair. That's always a winner for women. Right? No, let me. Very, very, very interesting thing. Said, well, because that's their Charlie Manson. Some of these people, I'm just saying, Mrs. ATS News, which is an award-winning YouTube creator, has many plaques, possibly doing a new Kurt Cobain documentary or Lane Staley starring Johnny Kramer, because Johnny Kramer is the only one really that can pull something like this off. Now, let's get back to other things. But I agree 100% with you. Let's see what Toby said. Squirrels are allergic to psycho nuts. I imagine so. Psycho, you could become something here. For one, you would have to use your real name. For two, you would have to use a photo of yourself and not just a letter. More interesting. Why? Yeah, I read that one. News. Is there anything? Why are you ladies laughing? I'm serious right now. Don't, Debbie, don't cry. Who did it? Psycho, were you? Who did? Debbie, did somebody say something to you? She's crying. No, you're supposed to. Who did this to her? You people are cold. You're cold and heartless. I can't believe you people would make little Debbie Fox. She was just laughing her little booty tootie off in her mouth. She's crying. Let me get back to Mrs. The Manson family comment made me laugh. Oh, sure it does make you laugh now. Sure it does now, Mrs. ATS. But once you do the history on Charlie Manson, whose real last name was Maddox, who actually came from where? Where did he come from, Johnny? He came from Indiana. Yes. Yes. That one now. See, for the past 6 years, they call it the Manson Psycho Mammary. Right? Oh, I do believe you belong to a club, Mr. Greeno. And that club is the Charlie Manson Psycho Club. And they also ride motorcycles, but with training on it. Now deal with that, Mr. Greeno. An art of deduction. The crazy Dutchman. Now, is there any other questions you ladies would love to know? Press, Congress, Senate, Pentagon, any of you want more questions you need to know about Charlie Manson and his crazy family? It's just another day. ATS News. I hope you're having fun, Mrs. ATS News. My God, you do a lot of laundry. Almost as much as laundry as little Debbie Fox. But she don't have kids. I think these ladies are using, I've got laundry to do, like they used to use when they didn't want any nookie nicky. I gotta wash my hair. Right? So I get the point, ladies. You're doing laundry today. I've come so far with my brain damaged brain. Let me see what Majestic Avenger said. Johnny Kramer is gay. No, I always have. You're mad because I won't turn gay. And they must have turned you gay. Majestic Avenger. Just say no to the gay. In Jesus' name. Amen. I have a headache. Well, that's too bad, Mark. I'm not gay. I don't care if you have a headache or not. Let me see what Debbie said. I have a son and his friend here. Yes. How old is your son and his friend? Miss Debbie Fox. Why so many trolls? I have no idea. Because I'm a hot item. Yeah, god dang, Paramount's been calling. Universal, iRobot. All of them been calling me. I'm waiting for Mrs. Debbie Fox's answer. She's always doing laundry and everything. 24/7. Till wee hours of the night. Mrs. Fox. She do laundry when they are home, Johnny. I have no idea who D-Log or I wait when is. How old are they, Debbie? Can you just answer that question? I know you have your son and his friend there. How old are these people? Because 20 years old, Mrs. Debbie Fox. They can do their own laundry. But that's your thing. If he wants to home and do their laundry, that's fine. You know, I got a bunch of laundry to do. Why don't you come on over to my house and do my laundry? Nobody does my laundry. When you coming over to scrub my toilets? Nobody comes here. Right? I'm tired of these people. We love you, Johnny. Is there anything we can do? Toilets and do my laundry? I'm busy. Oh, right. I got nobody here doing laundry. Now let me get back to this. Now here comes Mark Pretty Boy Klein. All the women, right? Go back to your old photo with missing teeth and a beard and a right. Give us men some chance. I just wanted one, right? That's all I wanted, Mr. Klein, was just one good woman. And you had to go change your portfolio picture. Right? You come in here with a big smile and hair. Right? Kind of reminds me of when they wanted me to do Top Gun and Roadhouse. People are like, what did Tom Cruise or Patrick Swayze have on you? You're great. I was great. But what they had was teeth, hair, and a lot of money. And that's why I got pushed to the side and only my butt shot was used in Roadhouse and so many other photos and videos. And it's just unbelievable. I brushed my tooth this morning. Thank God. It is only the power of God that got him up today and got him to brush that one tooth. And at least you got a tooth. And you should praise God for that. All glory goes to God. No, where were we? Debbie Fox is laughing her little booty off again. Thank God. At least she is not crying. Mark Klein, I'm bald. Well, God bless you. God bless you, Mark. God bless you. And you still got the women rolling in. God bless your little heart. I just wanted one, right? I prayed to the YouTube gods. Just send me one good woman, right? Just one incredible woman to rock my world. You'll never see me on YouTube again. And that was denied, right? I can't even have one. I was trying to get one. Here comes old pretty boy Mark Klein, right? They're all gone. This is unbelievable. And you're a former Chicagoan, which I'm a former Chicagoan, right? You think you would have been looking out for me and just gave me one, sent me one. Here, Johnny, I'm sending you this one. Where'd you get her? I don't know. I think someone said she's just a woman. All right, send her. But this has gone too far. I can tell you that much. Let me see what Debbie Fox said. Women don't care about that stuff, Johnny. Oh, really? Oh, oh, really, Mrs. Debbie Fox? Interesting. Let me look around a minute. Hold on. I'm looking. Yeah, I don't see no beautiful women here. Oh, well, let me see. Wait a minute. Frank Meister can beat up 4 pits. Oh my God, Frank Meister. It must be art of deduction. Art, I know you're watching me. You've been watching me a little bit too much lately. Dark rooms, probably Mr. Deduction, the Dutchman. But that's as far as it goes, mister. You got plenty of women over there on your channel. Beautiful, incredible, strong women. You don't need to come here and change your name to the Frank Meister can beat up 4 pit bulls. I'm on to you, Mr. Dutchman. I'm watching Frank. And I also seen the movie You Can't Catch Me 20 times. You ain't getting away that easy, mister. Now let's get back to the chat. Psychobabble, Johnny might be cuddly. Debbie Fox says, we want a good, cuddly, funny man. I know what you ladies want, but I'm telling you what I want and what I need. Okay? It don't matter what I need. I'm noticing that it only matters what these ladies need. It has nothing to do with me. It's only these great ladies. Now let me see, Toby looking. They're jealous of you. Who's jealous? Oh, they're jealous of Mark Klein? Well, who wouldn't be? Look at he's got his tooth in and he shaved. Right? He's got his tooth in and he shaved. Of course, we're jealous. Now let me get back to what Toby's. Let me see what Klein said. I'm in Indiana, but worked years in Chicago, in the suburbs. Johnny, remember Holiday Star Plaza in Merrillville? Sure do. Lost my virginity there to the woman that ran the janitor situation there. I remember her. It was so dirty and naughty. But then she cleaned up afterwards. It was unbelievable. All right, where are we at? They're not jealous of me. They're not. Hey, you remember the Poconos, Mark? Out there on Cicero? That hotel that it was, they had the wine glass bathtubs, right? You walk in, dun, dun, they had porn music playing as soon as you walk in. Boom, boom, it was called the Poconos. Cicero there, right? They had the giant wine glass bathtub. No, I'm talking you had to get on a ladder and get inside the bathtub. It was like a champagne glass. It was unbelievable. You could have got the Tarzan room, which I spent a lot of time there. Being I was related to Elvis Presley, I was like, I'm getting the jungle room. They had a jungle room there. They had it was unbelievable. They had the honeymoon suite, which was hearts, and the bed was shaped like a heart, and a giant wine glass or something as a bathtub and everything, right? The porn music. As soon as you walked in, opened the door, click, you can hear the porn music kick on. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time here. But of course, they kicked me out of there 1992 after I actually rented out the whole top floor. It was a lot like, because I love Howard Hughes. I'm a big fan of Howard Hughes. So I went in and I'm like, I'll take every room. That only went on for about a year, and then they kicked me out. They were like, we can make more money if you would just move. I'm like, how dare you? Get out of my jungle room, right? My father owned that. They were like, who's your father? The king, right? The king. They're like, you're not in England. I'm like, Elvis. They were like, oh. I'm like, I'll rent the second. Screw you. But I had to leave there, Mark. And now there was a long time there where they just called it the Johnny Inn. It was a 24-hour party. Boats and hoes and everything were there. It was unbelievable. Old days. I remember them. All right, let's get back to this conversation. Heart shaped heavy. Yes, they did. Oh, it was a blast. Right? It was unbelievable. Like I said, I can only stay there for so long, and they kicked me out. I don't know. It worked for Howard Hughes. It worked for Elvis, Michael Jackson. I was just going to rent out the whole building. But I miss Chicago. I really do. I was born and raised there. Went to high school there and everything. I miss it. I miss it. Best food in the earth, in the world. Some great dudes I worked with, construction. Taught me a trade. Of course, that didn't sink in because I had a disability, but it was a blast. I made good money. God bless them guys who took the patience to show me what a hammer was and a screwdriver and everything. Let's get back. Let me see what the Mrs. ATS News award-winning documentary YouTube channel, Mrs. ATS News. Bow, chicka, bow, bow, wow. Yes. Bow, chicka, bow, wow. Chicka, bow, bow. Chicka, bow, bow. Ah, bow, chicka, bow, bow. Chicka, bow, bow. Chicka, bow, bow. Oh, girl, you. Chicka, bow, bow. Well, got me freaky. Chicka, bow, bow, bow. Oh, take up all your clothes. Get inside my champagne bathtub, yeah. Oh, chicka, bow, bow. Them were great days. Them were great days. I miss Chicago. I miss it. Mark, do they still have the Sheridan Drive-In movie out there out in Bridgeview, Oak Lawn area? Right. You remember Duke's Drive-In, where everybody would go at night, and all the cars would show up there, and then when Duke's would close down, everybody would leave there, and we'd all go racing. Right? We all would go out to Sauk Trail, Mark. Sauk Trail is where we all raced the cars. And we'd go out there and it just ripped the streets up, man. We just ripped the streets up out there. And it was unbelievable. What's Mrs. ATS News award winning? Mrs. ATS News, why don't you put after your name Mrs. ATS News, award winning YouTube channel? I would rub it in their faces, much like Drip Drop, right? We all love Drip Drop. Crime Circus. The kid with the boom, boom, boom. The other day he was showing off all of his plaques. Right? Boom, 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 boom. Bunch of smoke. I was, oh my God, what happened? And then here comes Drip Drop, the kid with like 4 plaques. Like he's a WWE wrestler with championship belts. Hello, my name's Drip Drop. And today I will be spying you with the bones. And these are my 4 award-winning plaques. I was on the ground. This kid's good. A lot of women are mad at him. They're very upset because he puts his makeup on better than the women. And I support you 100%, Crime Circus. Now let's get back to my chat. Mark Klein, I know Sauk Trail. Also, the side road off of 94 near 101. The car racing. Yes, that was another place. Drag strip. Yep. Yep. We'd end up going to Duke's, right? And these guys, and this was back in the 80s, Mark. This was back in the 80s, 79, 80, right? Or no, wait. This was about 84, 85. Somewhere around there, 84, 85. Now, I went there before, but I went there with my parents to eat, right? You pulled up in Duke's. It was like, remember Happy Days, the drive-in? That's what it was like. Now, I went there and ate with the parents, right? And as I got older and hung out with dudes that raced cars and stuff, and, right? My father was into cars and boats and planes and stuff like that. Uh, I used to go there and hang out with these dudes that raced cars late at night. And these dudes were no slouches. They'd show up with their cars on the trailer. This was in the 80s, right? And they wouldn't take the car off of the trailer unless it was for $1,000, the race. There was this one dude out there with the baddest ass Chevelle, silver with black racing stripes that I've ever heard in my life. It was unbelievable the way this car sounded. It was like a tin can, ting, 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 ting. You can hear the can coming through the pipes. The back end, it was just a ting, 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 ting. And he would not take a car off of the trailer unless it was for about $1,000. And then when somebody came up and made the deal, the race, and the money was transferred into the holder's hand, Kevin would take that Chevelle off of the. We'd meet out there at Sauk Trail, and Kevin would take that Chevelle off of that trailer and just stomp the shit out of and he would spot people, Mark. I seen him one night race a Corvette, a 455 Corvette, or 454 Corvette with nitrous. And he spotted that Corvette, 3 cars. And when that light dropped, Kevin was already at the starting line. He was already caught up to that Corvette and on his way to blow past it. It was unbelievable. God, I miss Chicago. All right, where are we at? Remember the club on US 30? Linwood, fun place. Which club on US 30? There's been so many clubs out there, I don't know. Wow, JJ's one girl band is good. Highway 394 was good for high speed racing. Is 270 there? We would, well, being Mark that I lived on the outskirts of Chicago, everybody would go out to Sauk Trail because it was, at that time, it was nothing but farm field out there. Right? When I first moved out of the city, when my parents moved us out to the suburbs on the outskirts of Chicago, back then in the early 70s, it was nothing but cornfield out there. So that's where everybody would go. It was funny because we would drive all the way to Duke's, which was all the way out in Bridgeview, Oak Lawn area. But at the end of the night, we would end up driving all the way back out by my house because it was nothing but corn. And that's where everybody raced because it was nothing but back roads and it was just cornfield. They'd shut down the whole road and just have at it right there. Right, there'd be 20, 30 races out there at a night. But it wasn't like it is today with street outlaws where the cops don't do anything. Back then in the 80s, boy, if the cops caught your ass, they were taking your car, they were locking you up. It ain't like it is today with the street outlaws where you see the cops just flash their light and they keep driving. Nah, they would have locked your ass up quicker than crap. My dad worked there, Ford. Yeah, the Ford plant. We moved out from the Summit area, Argo. I don't know if you're familiar with that area. Mark Klein, Summit, Argo area, Bridgeview, Oaklawn, Cicero area. Moved from there to the outskirts in a suburb called West Haven. That was the suburb. That was out uh, in the Orland Park, Tinley Park area. Now, I was there when they built the first outdoor music theater in Tinley Park, which it used to be called the World Theater. Now, I seen AC/DC there. I seen the Monsters of Rock there, and that was great because that was only like 20 minutes away from my house, if that. So that's where all the big bands came. Once they built the World Theater outdoor pavilion, nothing but there was just nothing but big bands coming. Scorpions, you name it, man. You name it. AC/DC, Warrant. Uh, the bill was just unbelievable. They also had a place out there called the Cardessa Del Mar, which was where they held the Battle of the Bands. Which my uncle one year took me there with all his buddies, right? It was the Battle of the Bands, but all his buddies and my uncles and everything were motorcycle riders. Right? I'm not talking Harleys. I'm talking these guys were into muscle cars and fast motorcycles. So pretty much the whole way there we did on the back tire because these guys were good. Right? These guys be rolling at 60, 70 miles an hour, and uh, these guys were doing wheelies on the Honda CB 750s, Mark. I remember when casinos opened in Joliet years ago. You remember when the firework place, the firework warehouse in Orland Park or Tinley Park it was, out there by me, or actually it was it Mokina? The Mokina area? The firework factory went up. I was not out there when that happened. We didn't move out there yet, but when I first moved out there in that suburb, that's what everybody talked about. My God, did you hear when that firework factory? No, I wasn't there. Tinley Park is nice. Oh my God, I used to go see a girl I was dating. I lived all the way in West Haven, and I would walk and ride my bike to go see that woman. And I dated a couple ladies that were in Tinley Park. I'd walk my butt off to go see them one. Yeah, I had a pretty good child life when I was younger. My uncles were all into cars, bikes, music, boats, planes, all kinds of stuff. Of course, some of them were military people, but uh, yeah, I didn't even know who Ronnie James Dio was until my uncle was like, "Check this record out." I'm like, looks like you. So, this is Dio. Listen, ride the diamonds. Oh my God, that was great. Zeppelin. I got turned on by all these bands from my family because they listened to uh, Deep Purple, Doobie Brothers, Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Bad Company. I grew up on all that stuff. Oh yeah, out there they had all kinds of golf courses out there. Actually, if you were in Bridgeview area, there was a couple places out there. At a young age, 18 years old, I was a landscaper and landscaped most of that. Uh, for a guy that owned a landscaping business, my uncle worked for him. My uncle got me a job with him, and we did Valparaiso. I did a lot of landscaping for many years out there. I was in great shape. I shoveled a lot of river rock. I don't know why these people loved river rock in that area, Mark. One of them houses had to be river rock. And at that time, we didn't have a tractor. We didn't have any of that crap. You know what we had? A shovel and a wheelbarrow, Mark. And I was in great shape after being a landscaper for a couple years, doing nothing but shoveling dirt, river rock. They put Johnny in disability after he started an AstroTurf mowing company. It's funny that you mentioned that, Psychobabble. People do not know that AstroTurf actually does need to be trimmed. And it's true. I did want to start up an AstroTurf lawn cutting business, but it didn't take off too good at that time. But now they're actually saying that you do have to take care of turf. Now, where were we? River Rock was heavy. Oh, good God. And they all wanted River Rock, didn't they? They all wanted River Rock. Let's see what Frank Meister can beat up for Pitbull. So Debbie, I didn't even get to read what he said. She's so fast. I'll tell you what, this little woman, Debbie Fox, is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, how long? Oh my God, we're at 2 hours. You ladies got laundry to do. You got little ones to take care of. Mark, you got to go pick up all the women because you're looking great today. Psychobabble, change your ways. You might be part of this channel. Toby Keith, or Toby Keith. My God, what a man. Toby, uh, Leesenberry's mustache is tragic. We love you here. You're always welcome here with the mustache or without the mustache. Debbie has your back, Johnny. I wish she would have something else right now, but she's too far away. Excuse me, that was rude. I'm sorry, Mrs. Debbie. But yeah, she's a great mom. They all are great moms. Everybody give her a hand. Everyone give her a hand. Yes, Debbie has my back. I wish she would crack it or walk on it, but she's 18 hours away or whatever. But it's okay, Debbie. I want to give everybody a hand for showing up here. Pretty boy Mark Klein. Somebody do something with Toby's mustache. It looks like a 73 porn movie or something. I don't know what that. Who was that one porn star? Uh, John Holmes. You look like him. Do something with that mustache. I want to thank all the great mods. I hope I did not offend any women today. If I did, my apologies. If I offended any of you men, oh well, I'm not gay, so I don't feel for you. Mark, it's always a blast hanging out with you. Mark seems like a dude I probably already would have hung out with and had a beer and joked around, and we probably would be in your front yard right now, Mark, drinking a beer and shooting golf balls into the neighborhood, right? Because that's what Chicago dudes did, right? I ain't got time to load everything up and go to a golf course. I'm gonna tee off right here in my front yard. If it takes a window out, it takes a window out. We don't give a crap. We're from Chicago. Now, let me see what Psychobabble said. Peter North is our hero. I have no idea who Peter North is. I do know Oliver North, which I didn't know him after he got called in front of the committee. I had no idea who he was. I pled the fifth. But you guys have a great day. Mark, Mrs. Debbie Fox, Mrs. ATS News, award-winning channel. Thank you for being here. You're a great lady. You all are. Debbie Fox, a great lady. I want to thank Psychobabble, Frank Meister. I want to thank Toby with that great. I want lay low and chill, and anybody else that stopped in this morning. What a great discussion and great people. Just they're great, unbelievable people. We need more people like this in chat. I can tell you that, and more ladies like these ladies. Now, you folks have a great day. Commence to getting back to your real lives. Uh, Mrs. ATUS News, if you're still here, do you go live again Thursday? I think that's tomorrow, ain't it? What is today? I don't know. I've lost track. But make sure you pay attention to Mrs. ATS News channel, which we are on the Mrs. ATS News channel. We are covering the Chris Watts again, and we are using material from her award-winning channel, as she won very many awards for her documentary. And we are going over this case again, nitpicking everything in it. It's a great channel. It's very peaceful in there and very safe. So a lot of you ladies that have nowhere to go and you want to have a good time, you want to talk about crime, you want to feel what, these are the channels to go to. Mrs. Criminality, Mrs. ATS News, uh, Little Melissa Jade, Alex Erickson, and there's so many more where you go, you have a good time, you discuss the thing, people joke, they get along with each other. Great channels. For you dudes out there, I'll give you a couple good channels. The Lab, you can go to the Lab with Josh. There's another great channel, the True Crime Web. I think older gentleman who was a retired police. I also hang out at Police Off the Cuffs once in a while. I'd have to look. I don't remember too many of the guys that I sub to, but there are some really great channels that I watch that are dudes. Crime Night. I've watched that crazy. I don't know if he's from London or England or Australia, but boy, does he get it. He gets upset, don't he? I watch him. A bunch of great channels where you're safe inside the chat. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, Humanimals, yes. If you want to check out another great channel, Miss Humanimals channel, great lady, very peaceful in her chat. She goes over all the channels and everything. Great lady. They're all incredible, beautiful ladies. Very smart, very intelligent ladies. Yes. All right, folks. Now I'm going to get off of this thing. Ellie, the Empress. I don't know who she is. Oh, check out Debbie. Who's that other lady that you like? Uh, Jules. Jules channel. That's another lady that does uh, peaceful crime stuff. All right. I'm going to get off this thing. I didn't know this was a 2.5 hour video, and you ladies and gentlemen have things to do. Mark, I quit drinking a long, long time ago. But if you can have a bear for me today, Mr. Klein, and if you could break out the golf club and tee off from the front yard, and I want you to wait to hear that window break, and then down that bear for me, I'd appreciate it, my friend. Because you know, if I was there, that's what we would be doing. Now, you folks have a great day. God bless you. This channel would not be what it is without these great viewers, subs, and people in chat. Now, you folks have a great day. God bless you all. And we love you all here. All glory goes to God. Amen. Have a great day, folks.